Y'all might remember my good buddy Jack's Drinkwater from a few videos back. He was here at the crawfish boil we did.
I don't know, I'm just happy to be here. Somebody said crawfish and I came running.
Well, Jax was telling me that he had this 17-pound brisket that he had to get out of the freezer to make room for some venison that he had killed. I said, hey man, no problem. So we took that brisket, he thawed it out and had it completely thawed, brought it over here yesterday. We went ahead and did a little bit of trim. I tell you what, this brisket come from Costco and I had to do very little trimming. I mean, the fat cap side, it was already real thin. I really shouldn't even done anything to that side. A little bit of trimming, and then we went on with some rubs. So I used this LC rawhide as a base layer, and that has got salts in it and garlic. That's more of your SPG. LC last call. Now I've never used this stuff and I haven't really tasted it yet other than right out of the bottle, but man, it has a great flavor to it, so I'm looking forward to that. Jack does not currently own an offset. Matter of fact, I asked you last night, you said you've never owned an offset,
Never,
right?
never.
So I'm going to show him how I do this, and basically I'll take a bed of charcoal briquettes. I'll lay it down in this fire management basket and get a good layer of that burning. Then from there, I'll add maybe a split and a half or 2 small splits, whatever it takes. And that's going to bring my pit up in range. And what I'm doing today is 275 degrees. That is not a hot and fast. It's more of the upper end of a low and slow. But keep in mind, this is a 17, it's actually a little over 17 pounds. And we only trimmed maybe a pound of fat off this. It was very minimal. Now, what I done yesterday, I forgot to mention it earlier, as I seasoned one side, I would let that sit and start sweating in to where it got nice and wet. That way your rub is stuck to it, and when you flip it over, you don't lose all your rub. It's there, it's adhered. Then I did the back side, did it same way, let it sweat in, then do your edges. But here it is, this is after overnight, sitting in the refrigerator, wrapped up in foil, and look how wet it is. It's plenty sweated in. That's the salts in your rubs that pulls that moisture out to the surface. Well, we've got a long time on our hands before we have to check this brisket again. So there's gonna be some sipping and some chilling going on. Man, that's what I'm talking about. We have been going real close to 6 hours, right there at 6 hours. We'll set it right here to start with. Now what I've got is 2 sheets of butcher paper, and right here where the seam is, just took my spritz bottle and we just got this good and wet. What we're going to do here, go ahead and fold this in, kind of fold this in, do the same thing over here on this side, good and tight, give it another flip. I don't like putting a lot of wraps, I want it kind of thin. It will still help develop the bark, and believe it or not, it can actually still get a little bit of smoke penetration. We're just going to tuck this under. There it is, right back onto the pit. This time I'm going flat side towards the firebox. All right, so what we've done in the past 6 hours is basically sit around drinking cold beer, because the only thing we had to do was spritz it twice. spritzed it twice, did a few temperature checks periodically on it just to see where we're at and how even it's cooking, and didn't have to make any changes. This is the first time that I've actually rotated it opposite from what it was. The brisket is done. We are 8 hours in. That's record time on a 17-pound brisket. And I did ramp the heat up to around 300 once we wrapped it with the butcher paper. It's only been going maybe another 2 hours since we wrapped it. It is probing tender. What I'm gonna do is remove it, put it on some foil, and wrap the butcher paper with the foil. From there, it's gonna go into an ice chest that's empty. And all that's gonna do is keep it hot, retain the heat while it rests over the next several hours. And keep in mind, it will continue to cook as it's in that ice chest, believe it or not. Just the carryover heat will continue to get this brisket just right. It's a nominal internal temperature of about 204 degrees, 203, 204. And of course, you're gonna read different temps, but it also gives that temperature time to balance out from one end to the other to where you got a more constant temp. So, all right, let's unwrap this thing and see what we got. Look at that. You don't think this thing's gonna be juicy? Oh my goodness. Bark feels good. Look at that jiggle. And here we go. All right, let's slice in this bad boy. Oh my goodness, that's tender. What do we got, guys?
Good smoke ring.
Nice smoke ring. There's nothing I don't like about that. Jack, take a look at that beauty.
It is beautiful. Everything I expected and more, but let's see about the flavor.
All right, here's the pull test right here.
I'd say that was a pass.
Oh my God. Dude, that rub is killer. I mean, right off the bat, I could taste that.
Juicy.
That ain't the word. Look at that. Look at that glistening. Oh my goodness. Nailed it.
Did you get any?
And that's the flat. That point's gonna be just flooding, man. I don't think you could have better results than that. I really don't.
I'm happy with that. Wow.
You like the smoke from the offset?
I do.
It's not over smoked. It's not a predominant flavor. It's just like all these other seasonings. It just pairs and marries so well. Absolutely love my Lone Star Grill's offset, man. Can't much touch that, if anything.
You know,
Gracious.
I'm actually torn in this video. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm disappointed in some respect. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, you know, my grills, my smokers that I have,
Yep.
just don't, I mean, they're good, you know, and but they're just not a Lone Star Grill. And I'm not trying to shout out Lone Star Grills.
Well, you can even say they're not an offset.
They're not an offset. It's not about just the Lone Star Grill. It's just not an offset.
Right.
You actually summed it up pretty well there. But
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm very happy with it, and we did that in record time. I mean, that is a super tender, not too tender. It ain't mush. I'll tell you what. Let's try. Let me get this glove off. Let's just try a piece of this point because you know we got to, right?
yeah, I agree.
Now we all know that part of this point is also the flat, but the upper. Look how juicy that is. My goodness. Can you see that?
That's crazy.
Look how juicy that is. I mean, it's just glistening. All right, that's your point. I mean, I'm sorry, that's your flat. That's your point. I'm just gonna rip me off a piece here, and you can do the same.
All right.
It's hot.
And it's moist.
Oh my God. Dude. That's crazy good.
Whoa, 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 you two. Don't the cameraman get any love for this too?
There you go.
You know I gotta give this a try.
Yeah, buddy. Try that point, man.
Let's get some of this with this outer crust on it.
That's the flat.
Oh my lordy.
Is that good or what?
Wow. Y'all outdid yourselves. I mean, y'all really did. That is delicious.
It is, man.
Man, that seasoning, I've never had it, but I like that seasoning on there.
Well, you've experienced the difference on different cookers, how it can and does make a huge difference sometimes. I mean, you can cook with charcoal, wood combination. It's good. It's great.
Right.
It's good. God knows I've done my share of it, but man, that's on a class of its own.
I agree. And for me, it really sealed the deal for me. I really need to get me an offset smoker.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that's all we got. I'm Russ Jones.
I'm Derek Jones.
We are Smoky Ribs and
Jack's Drink Water. Do it.